deciding to create lessons I've learned, I had to first get over all the old conditionings that keep many of us from living the life that we imagine. I had to eliminate the doubt that even a moment ago tried to creep into my mind. I had to feel the fear and do it anyway. I had to listen to the voice inside of me that keeps saying, "You are part of the light that lighteth every man." I have learned many things in my life and continue to learn more and more each moment of each day. When I was a child, my grandmother would always remind me that there were enough things that I did not know about that they could build a brand new world. It was true then and is true still. Today, I share with you some of the most valuable lessons that have helped to change my life from the ordinary to the extraordinary. Lessons that have brought me peace, joy, love, and everything else that my soul could desire. The greatest thing about these lessons is they are universal. They work for one and for all. They are simple to learn, simple to apply, and require only one thing, your will. Your will to aspire to a greater place inside yourself. And so I begin. Lesson number 1. What you believe is true. I know that this can sound odd to some, but it is so powerful. Remember the biblical quote, "As you think, so shall it be." Well, this is just another way of putting it. If you believe that you are not good enough, not great enough, not pretty enough, not smart enough, talented enough, and on, you are right. Know this from the depth of your heart. What you believe is true. It is true for you. And whatever it is that you believe, know that that will be your life experience. By the power of our thoughts, we create. Yes, we are each creators. We create every day, every moment. The problem is that most of us do so unconsciously. Why? Because we were never taught that we are the creators of our reality. We were taught to believe that most of the things that happen to us without us playing any role. That is why so many of us are quick to blame someone or something outside of ourselves for the conditions of our life. If I believe that people didn't like the words that I spoke or the music that I write, simply by believing that, I would manifest into my experience people expressing a dislike for my music. I know this because at one point in my life, this is what I believed. And my music got nowhere. When I changed my belief, that was the moment people began listening and enjoying my music. Change your beliefs, change your life. When I hear about people who have accomplished what we would call pretty extraordinary things, I find that they all had one thing in common. They each believed that they could accomplish the task that they had set out for. Whether that was reaching the moon or decorating a cake, they listened to the voice inside and moved forward with a knowing that they would reach their destiny. Were there obstacles in their way? Certainly. But the knowing they had within was far greater than the obstacles that existed outside of them. I have read countless books on individuals, some who were born even before Christ, and they each had this same gift of knowing that what they believed was true. I encourage you to pay close attention to what you believe and then ask yourself, why do I believe this? Most of the beliefs that we obtain in our life have been handed down to us generation after generation. So one could actually say that what they believed is what someone else believed. Most of the prejudices and judgments that we have are beliefs that were handed down to us by people who simply were unaware that what they believed was true. There was once a time when some believed the world was flat, and for them, this was their truth. Everything they did in their existence revolved around that belief. Some refused to sail far out into the ocean because they feared falling off the edge of the earth. Their belief kept them from discovering another part of the world and from living the life that they had imagined. I say to you here, without any question or any doubt, what you believe is true. Decide what it is that you want to believe in about yourself, your life, and the world, and watch it come to be. If you can choose to believe in your greatness, why on earth would you choose to believe that you are unworthy of the abundance of gifts that await you? I tell you here and forevermore, you are born of greatness. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter where you have been, you are of greatness. Whatever the color of your skin, whatever the size of your bank account, you are of greatness. Whatever side of the tracks you come from, you are of greatness. Every one of us. White, black, yellow, brown, short, tall, fat, thin. The liar, the thief, the drunk, the homeless, the prisoner, the gay, the straight, the crooked. Every one of us were born of greatness. I know this is not something we have been told, but it is true. And whether you believe it or not does not change this truth for anyone except yourself. I will repeat that. Whether you believe it or not does not change this for anyone except yourself. Those who believe this are the ones who are doing what we call great things. Believing in your greatness will lead to greatness. Know that the universe does not play favorites. Believe it, know it, and never let anyone else tell you different. Tell your children, tell your friends, tell the world. Lesson number 2. Everyone has a purpose, a gift. People ask me all the time, how did I know what I wanted to do in my life? My response is, I listened to the voice within and it led me. I know that we each have a purpose for being in this universe. Not a one of us is here just to exist. We each have a gift to offer to the world. And more importantly, the world needs whatever gift we are here to give. It is unique as we are. It is almost as if it were a piece of the missing puzzle. I truly feel that we each know inside ourselves what our purpose is. However, years of self-doubt and self-judgment have helped to suppress that knowing so far that some of us feel completely numb to why we are living. I tell you that whatever your purpose may be, know this: it is about loving, giving, and serving. Yes, your purpose is about loving, giving, and serving. Give and you shall receive is much more than just a statement. It is the driving truth that will lead you to your purpose and thus to a life fulfilled with peace, joy, and abundance. I knew that writing words and music that inspired others was my purpose. Even when I was not doing this, they stirred inside of me. And reflecting back upon my childhood, even then, it was there. Our purpose is always calling to us, even when we are not listening. What are you passionate about? What is the one thing that keeps surfacing in your mind? I know you hear it. So many of us go to work each day disliking what it is that we do. Sure, it pays the bills, but at what cost? It is time you know that whatever you desire, desires you. And what you deeply desire and are passionate about is your purpose. And you have within the tools to bring your purpose to material form. If we can go to a job each day that we dislike, why would we not believe that if we do what we feel passionate about, what is our purpose, that we could do it even better? Well, we can. No matter how crazy your desire and purpose may seem, it can be realized. Most of us have been taught that our purpose here is about acquiring. So we go out and we acquire all the stuff, and then we wake up and still there's this void inside of us. Know that your purpose is an internal knowing, not an external thing. It is an internal knowing, not an external thing. Because one day the externals will no longer be, but the internal magic always, always is. I once had a job making lots of money. I spent a lot of energy buying lots of things. I was living the life, or so I thought. Then one day I woke up and I had this emptiness inside of me that was so deep. I knew that there was something else that I was missing. I asked myself, do you really believe that this is what your life is about? Do you really believe that all you're here to do is to acquire things? To go to a job each day that I had no passion for, buying things I could not even afford, trying to impress and keep up with people who are out buying things, trying to keep up with people. I think you know what I mean. And even if I could afford the things, were they making a positive difference in my life? My answer was no. Please understand this. I make no judgments about beautiful things, money, clothes, cars, and all the other externals that one may possess. But when they become your purpose for living, know that it is an illusion that one day will be revealed. I get a greater high from living my life on purpose, sharing my words and my music, and inspiring others. A far high than I ever got from a Versace suit. And even though I looked good, there was a void. Now it doesn't matter what I am wearing or driving, because living my life on purpose made me realize that who I am, is greater than anything that I could ever have. Yes, who we are is greater than anything we could ever have. Discover your purpose and be it. Is your purpose to dance? Then dance. Is your purpose to write? Then write. Is it your purpose to teach? Teach. Whatever it is that stirs inside of you, be it. Each moment, each day. Be it with an unwavering certainty, and watch what starts to happen. Each of us has a gift, a purpose. Give it away and know that the world will receive it. It has no choice. I like to think of our lives as a birthday party. And upon coming to the birthday party, we were each given a gift, a special gift like none other to give to the world. That is how original your purpose is. Give your gift away and know without any doubt, without any fear, without any uncertainty that the world will receive it. It truly has no choice. Lesson number 3. What you put your attention on expands. Another way I like to think of this is what you plant in your garden will grow. Now, if you planted weeds in your garden, could you possibly grow a rose? No. Since we each have been given the power to create our own reality, this idea backs up what I have previously stated. Understand that whatever you put your attention on, it will expand in your reality. Let me give you an example that surely most will understand. Whatever type of vehicle you drive, make, model, color, before you bought it, you didn't really notice many like it. The moment you drove it off the lot, you began to notice cars just like it everywhere you looked. Now, all of these people didn't go out and buy their car on the same day as you did, even though it appears that way. But because your car has become a part of your attention, you begin to notice cars just like it everywhere. There have been times when I've been at a red light and on each corner was a vehicle just like the one I was driving. This is a clear-cut example of where we put our attention expands. If you put your attention on what is good in your life, know that what is good in your life will expand. If you put your attention on what is bad in your life, what is bad in your life will expand. This is easy to understand and very easy to manage. We each have a choice on where we are going to put our attention because we each are responsible for our thoughts. I was recently talking to a friend, and he kept talking about how much hate there was in the world. I quickly informed him that there is no more or less hate now than there has ever been. And if he wanted to see all of the goodness in the world, all he had to do was put his attention on it. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door will be open. Ask and it shall be given. These wise, wise words were here long before we were even thought about. I choose to believe them. I know them to be true. A few years ago, talk show host Oprah Winfrey encouraged her audience to write what was called a gratitude journal. And so I participated in this myself. And in this journal, you were asked to write down 5 things that you were grateful for, no matter how small they seemed. And you were to do this every night before falling asleep. People began talking about how their lives were changing and how incredible this gratitude journal was affecting their lives in a positive way. How, you ask? Because when you put your attention on what you are thankful and grateful for, you will begin to notice many things to be thankful and grateful for. Don't take my word for this. Practice it and you will come to understand this lesson. Many, many people put all their attention on what they think is wrong in their life. And because of this, they are always experiencing what is wrong in their life. The news is a perfect example of this. If the news put its attention on what is right in the world and made that the headline news, then what is right with this world would expand in our conscience. But because they are so busy telling us about all of the murders and crimes, most people have this notion that we live in a world that is full of bad things. When truly, most of us and the people we know go through life every day without ever witnessing anything bad happening at all. Of course, unpleasant things do happen in our world, but if you believed the news, you would think that this is all that is happening. I challenge you to put all of your attention on what is good in your life and what is good in the world, and watch what is good in your life and what is good in the world expand. Trust me on this. Refuse to let into your conscience anything that does not honor your highest vision of what you desire your life and your world to be. Become aware of where you put your attention. Know that what you sow, you shall reap. You cannot plant weeds in the garden of your mind and expect to grow roses. You cannot plant weeds in the garden of your life and expect to grow roses. Lesson number 4. There is order in chaos. This lesson is crucial. When our lives become chaotic, this is generally the time when we want to throw in the towel and call it quits. Understand this law. In order for there to be a rise, there must be a fall. Understand that the chaos in our lives is in perfect order. And though it may not appear that way on the surface, when you look within, you can see the order. If you have ever been in a traffic jam during rush hour, it appears to be very chaotic. At times, you only move a few feet within an hour. As frustrating as most of us view this chaotic traffic situation, when looking beyond the surface, one can see the perfect order that exists. On the surface, all appears as chaos, but beneath it, you discover that every one of the cars within the traffic has one thing in common: a destination. No one is out there just driving around. Each one of the vehicles has a point and a destination. So too does the chaos that presents itself in our lives. Know this. There's a point and a destination for all of it. And when we become quiet and still, we can see the order. Trying to run from the chaos does not eliminate it. Just like getting off the freeway does not get you out of the chaotic traffic. Many times, in trying to avoid the chaos, it makes it greater. So when what appears to be chaos in your life, know that there is perfect order in it. Embrace it. It may very well be saving your life from a greater disaster. A dear friend of mine reminds me always of the time when he missed his flight. He was so frustrated and stuck in total chaos, or so he thought. He was mad at the airlines and anyone else who was in earshot who could hear his angry expressions. Only 20 minutes later did he learn that the plane that he was to be on fell out of the sky and that all on board perished. Do you get the point? Everything in our lives is in perfect order. And even though at the time we may not understand it, if we are patient and embrace it, we will see the perfect order even in the chaos. Lesson number 5, forgiveness is a must. If one wants to have peace in their life, forgiveness is a must. This is one of the greatest gifts. There is no possible way that one can acquire peace if they are stuck in unforgiveness. When one is not willing to forgive, it means that they are still holding on to the past. And if you are holding on to the past, you are not living fully in the present. Not willing to forgive can only manifest in a way that is not positive or hopeful. Forgiveness also means that we must be willing to forgive ourselves. We must be willing to forgive ourselves for all of our past behavior. Every one of us has hung our head in shame at one time or another. We must forgive ourselves and move forward with a new awareness, with an awareness that when we know better, we do better. All of us. When we give forgiveness, we will receive forgiveness. I know people who have literally made themselves ill because they were not willing to forgive others or themselves. Forgiveness does not mean that we have to allow others to mistreat us or that we are saying that what occurred is acceptable. It simply means that one frees themselves of another's actions by understanding that what one does affects their spirit. If I refuse to accept someone's ill will, that ill will belongs to them. Remember these words. What you do to me is your karma. How I respond is mine. I often think of the last words that were spoken by Christ during the crucifixion. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. These are the words that I recite in my mind when I feel that forgiveness is required for another or of myself. Refuse to let anyone take your peace. It is your birthright. I am well aware that if God can forgive, then who am I not to? Forgiveness is the highest expression of love.